there is a second version of you, living in databases you have never seen, controlled by companies you have never heard of, making decisions about your life that... This is your digital shadow euros, and it is more real, more permanent, and more consequential than you think. Every click, every search, every location ping, every purchase, every late-night scroll builds this shadow. It knows where you were last Tuesday at 3 in the afternoon. It knows what you searched for and then decided not to buy. It knows the political leanings you have never posted about, but that your browsing patterns reveal, and it is being sold right now euros. As you listen to this euro to companies that will use it to decide whether to hire you, insure you, lend to you, or show you Most people believe their digital identity is what they post on social media. That is not even the tip of the iceberg. What you post is the 1% of the iceberg above water. The 99% below euros, your browsing history, location data, purchase patterns, app usage, device fingerprints, and inferred psychological profile euros. The entities that collect, package, and sell this information are called data brokers euros, and there are thousands of them. Axiom, one of the largest, holds data on approximately 2.5 billion people worldwide. For each person, they have up to 5,000 data points. Your age, income, education, marital status, number of children, home value, vehicle type, purchasing habits, political affiliation, health interests, and on. What makes this particularly concerning is the categories data brokers create. They sort people into segments like rural and barely making it, tough times, credit crunched, ethnic, second city strugglers. These are not neutral descriptions euros. They are commercial judgments that determine what offers you see, what interest rates you pay, and what opportunities But it gets worse. Even if you have never created a Facebook account, Facebook has a shadow profile on you. When your friends upload their contact lists, when they tag you in photos, when someone mentions your email in a message euro, Facebook connects those dots and boop. And they are not alone. Google, Amazon, and hundreds of data brokers do the same. Your device itself is a tracking beacon. When you visit a website, your browser reveals your screen resolution, operating system, installed fonts, time zone, language settings, and dozens of other attributes. Combined, these create a fingerprint that is unique to you euros, often more unique than your actual fingerprint, even if you clear your cookies and use incognito mode. Your device fingerprint identifies you. Your phone broadcasts your location continuously. A New York Times investigation found that a single location data company had collected 50 billion location pings from 12 million Americans. Over several They could identify individuals visiting doctors' offices, attending protests, going to mosques, visiting abortion clinics. Every place you go leaves a digital trace that is bought and sold, but the most unsettling category is inferred data. Euro. Things that have never been recorded about you, but that algorithms deduce from the data that exists. Your sexual orientation, your religion, your political views, your mental health status, your likelihood of developing certain diseases euros, all can be inferred. All of this data feeds into algorithmic scoring systems that make consequential decisions. Credit scores are just the beginning. There are now reputation scores used by landlords, employability scores used by hiring platforms, fraud scores used by banks, customer value scores used. An estimated 85% of employers use automated screening tools that evaluate your resume, your social media presence, and your digital footprint. These tools make errors. They screen out qualified candidates based on correlations that have nothing to do with job performance. Euros. The browser you use, the time of day you submit. The insurance companies now purchase data from brokers to assess risk. Your grocery purchases, your gym attendance, your driving patterns, as recorded by your phone euros, all feed into decisions about your premiums. In theory, this allows for more accurate risk pricing. In practice, it means people who cannot afford organic food, gym memberships, or safe neighborhood pay higher premiums for reasons they never agreed to. Online platforms adjust prices based on what they know about you. Studies have found that users of Apple devices are sometimes shown higher hotel prices. Frequent shoppers may be shown higher prices because they are less likely to comparison shop. People in lower income zip codes are shown different credit offers euro. Not better offers, more expensive ones. The same product, different prices. Based on a profile you never built. And then there is the problem of permanence. You may think that deleting a post, closing an account, or clearing your history removes the data. The internet is an archive that never forgets. The Internet Archive's Wayback Machine has snapshots of websites going back to 1996. Data brokers retain information indefinitely. Your teenage posts, your old photos, your past mistakes, euros, they are all still out there, waiting to be surfaced. Europe's GDPR introduced the right to be forgotten euro, the right to request deletion of personal data. It is a step forward, but it is far from complete. It applies only to data controllers with a connection to Europe. It has exceptions for journalism, research, and legal obligations. And it requires enforcement, which means individuals must know who holds their data, request deletion, and follow-up when requests are ignored. Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff calls this system surveillance capitalism euro, an economic model where human experience is harvested as raw material for Beha. It is not an accident or a side effect. It is the business model of the most valuable companies in the world. Your attention, your behavior, your future actions, euros. These are the products being sold. What makes this model particularly dangerous is its capacity for psychological targeting. The Cambridge Analytica scandal revealed that personality profiles inferred from Facebook likes could be used to target political messages with precision, but political manipulation is just one application. The same techniques can target vulnerable people with gambling ads, diet products to people with eating disorders, or payday loans to people in financial distress. Algorithmic curation creates filter, bubbles euro, personalized information environments that confirm existing beliefs and hide contradictory evidence. You see news that aligns with your views, products that match your past purchases, and opinions that reinforce your biases. The result is a population increasingly unable to agree on basic facts, because each person lives in a different information universe. This all sounds dystopian, and honestly, it is. But there are concrete steps you can take today, to reclaim control over your digital identity. They range from simple privacy hygiene, to legal tools, to collective action. The goal is not to disappear from the digital world of euros. That is nearly impossible but to minimize the shadow you cast and increase the friction against thoughts. Start with your browser. Switch to Firefox or Brave browsers that prioritize privacy by default. Install uBlock Origin to block trackers. Use DuckDuckGo instead of Google for search. These 3 changes alone block the majority of tracking infrastructures that follows you across the web. It takes 10 minutes and costs nothing. A virtual private network, a VPN, encrypts your internet traffic and routes it through a server in another location. This hides your IP address from the websites you visit and from your internet service provider. A VPN is not a silver bullet, but it significantly raises the cost of tracking your online behavior. Choose a provider that does not keep logs and be willing to pay for it, because free VPNs often sell your data. Your phone is the most powerful surveillance device ever created, and you carry it everywhere. Go into your settings, right now. You can do this and review app permissions. Does a flashlight app really need access to your contacts? Does a game need your location? Turn off ad personalization. Turn off location history. Delete apps you do not use. Turn off background app. Refresh for apps that do not need it. On social media, audit your privacy settings. Make your profiles visible only to friends, not the public. Review tagged photos and timeline settings. But more importantly, consider what you post. Every public post, every like, every comment becomes part of your permanent record. Before posting, ask yourself, would I want a future employer, a future partner, or an insurance algorithm to see this? You can opt out of data broker databases. It is tedious, but it is possible. Services like Delete Me and OneRep will do it for you for a fee, or you can manually submit opt-out requests to the major brokers Axiom, Epsilon, Oracle, and dozens of others. Each request takes a few minutes. It is bureaucratic busy work, but it reduces the commercial profile being built around you. Use email aliases. Services like Simple Login or Apple's Hide My Email create unique email addresses that forward to your real inbox. When a service is breached or sells your data, they do not have your actual email. If an alias starts receiving spam, you can disable it instantly. You can create a different alias for every account. Enable two-factor authentication on every account that offers it. A password alone is no longer sufficient protection. Use an authenticator app rather than SMS euros. SIM swapping attacks can intercept text messages. Use a password manager to generate and store strong, unique passwords for every account. The majority of data breaches succeed because of reused passwords. But individual action, while necessary, is not sufficient. The scale of data collection and algorithmic decision-making demands legislative response. The GDPR in Europe, the CCPA in California, and India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act are steps in the right direction. But enforcement is weak, loopholes are abundant, and the data broker industry remains largely unregulated in most of the world. What can you do collectively? Support organizations that advocate for digital rights, euros. The Electronic Frontier Foundation. Access now. The Internet Freedom Vote. Vote for representatives who understand and prioritize digital privacy. Demand that companies you do business with publish clear privacy policies, minimize data collection, and allow easy data deletion. Some thinkers, including economist Glenn Whale, have proposed a data dividend a euros. The idea that if companies profit from your data, you should share in those peer. Others propose data trusts and data unions that would give individuals collective bargaining power over the use of their information. These ideas are nascent, but they point toward a future where data rights are treated as human rights. The deeper shift is philosophical. Cal Newport, in his book Digital Minimalism, argues that we should treat digital tools as servants, not masters. Use technology intentionally, not reactively. The question is not, what can this app do? But, what do I want my life to look like? And does this app serve that vision? If the answer is no, the app does no. Here is what I want you to take away. Your digital identity is not a trivial concern for tech enthusiasts. It is not something that only affects people who have something to hide. It affects your employability, your insurability, your creditworthiness, your prices, your opportunities, and increasingly, your freedom of thought. Your digital shadow is you a euro, and right now it is owned by someone else. So here's what I want you to do today. Take 15 minutes. Change your default browser. Install an ad blocker. Review your phone's app permissions. Turn off location history. Delete 3 apps you have not used in a month. Opt out of ad personalization. These are small actions that compound into significant protection. Do them today a euro. Your future self will thank you. The fight for digital privacy is not about hiding. It is about autonomy. It is about the right to define yourself, rather than being defined by an algorithm you cannot see. The second version of you a euros, the one living in databases a euros, will continue to exist. The question is whether you will have any say in what it looks like, how it is used, and who profits from it. Start reclaiming your shadow today.